Princess Charlotte's first royal title _ King Charles stuns banquet guest crown. The banquet hall glitters. Crystal glasses. Murmured toasts. Everyone expects tradition. Suddenly, a royal announcement stops the room cold. A title no one predicted. Gasps ripple. How did Princess Charlotte's first royal title become the night's biggest shock? London's most historic banquet hall shimmered beneath towering chandeliers, its long tables set with gold-edged china and embroidered linens. The event had been billed as a routine state dinner, a celebration of enduring ties between Britain and its guests. But in royal history, routine rarely stays routine. On this night, the focus unexpectedly shifted from foreign policy and protocol to a little girl with a poised smile and a lineage stretching back centuries, Princess Charlotte of Wales. Charlotte has always been in the public eye, the middle child of Prince William and Princess Catherine. She has charmed crowds with her waves from palace balconies and her shy but confident demeanor at royal events. Yet she has also grown up in the shadow of her older brother, the future king, and her younger brother, whose playful appearances often steal headlines. This banquet was supposed to be another evening where she blended into the background. Instead, it became her first defining moment. As the final course was cleared, King Charles III rose to speak. His tone at first was formal, reflecting on service, duty, and continuity. Guests leaned back in their chairs, expecting a standard address. Then he paused, looked toward Charlotte, and smiled. The air shifted. Cameras clicked faster. The orchestra hushed. And then he said it, the words that would ignite headlines across the globe. His granddaughter would now bear a new royal title. No one saw it coming. For decades, royal titles have been announced in carefully choreographed press releases, sometimes months after a decision is made. But Charles chose to do it live, in front of diplomats, dignitaries, and the press, creating a moment of shared history. He explained that Charlotte's new title reflected not only tradition but also his vision for a streamlined, modern monarchy that honors the past while embracing the future. The specifics of the title matter. It was drawn from a lineage of powerful royal women, a title dormant for over a century, once associated with service and resilience. By granting it to Charlotte now, Charles signaled that she is to be more than a spare, she is to be a symbol. Guests whispered as they pieced together the implications. Would this change Charlotte's role in future state affairs? Would she now be expected to take on more public duties at a younger age? For Charlotte, seated beside her mother, the moment was both monumental and tender. Observers noticed her glance up at her grandfather with a mix of pride and surprise. Catherine reached over to gently squeeze her daughter's hand, a subtle gesture captured by the cameras and broadcast worldwide. William smiled but kept his eyes fixed on his daughter, as if silently reassuring her that this new responsibility came with their full support. Why now? That was the question buzzing through the hall. Why had Charles chosen this moment, a banquet rather than a formal proclamation? Palace aides later hinted that it was deliberate. In a world of instantaneous news, Charles wanted the announcement to feel personal, to be witnessed rather than read. He wanted Charlotte's first title to be a memory she could carry, a moment of family connection rather than bureaucratic formality. This leads to the deeper curiosity: what does the title signify for the monarchy's future? As Charles spoke about the values embodied by the title, service, compassion, and quiet strength, it became clear he was casting Charlotte as part of a generational bridge. In doing so, he also reassured the public of continuity after years of upheaval. Guests at the banquet described an almost cinematic silence. Some dabbed their eyes. Others reached for their phones to capture the moment discreetly. One foreign dignitary reportedly whispered, "History just happened." For a monarchy that has struggled to balance tradition with relevance, this was a carefully calibrated act of symbolism. The banquet continued, but nothing felt the same. The toasts that followed were warmer, more spontaneous. The orchestra played a softer, almost lullaby-like interlude. Charlotte, now with her new title, seemed to carry herself differently, still a child, but one newly aware of her place in a story larger than herself. In the days that followed, headlines blared: King Charles stuns banquet guests, Princess Charlotte given historic title, a new era for the young royals. Experts debated the implications. Some praised the move as a brilliant way to modernize the monarchy by centering a young female royal. Others worried it placed undue pressure on a child. Yet across the UK, Spain, Denmark, and beyond, the image of Charlotte receiving her first royal title captured imaginations. Consider the historical parallels. Queen Elizabeth II's early public roles prepared her for the crown she would one day wear. Princess Anne's titles reflected her dedication to service. By giving Charlotte a historic title now, Charles may be setting the stage for a lifetime of public duty and influence. There's another question woven through this moment: how will Charlotte's new role affect her siblings? George is the heir, Louis the youngest. Will Charlotte become a pivotal supporter of her brother's future reign, like Princess Margaret was to Queen Elizabeth, or will she carve out a distinct identity like Princess Anne? This banquet may have been the first step in defining that path. The power of the moment wasn't only in the title but in the way it was delivered, a grandfather bestowing honor upon his granddaughter in a room full of witnesses. It humanized the monarchy while reinforcing its mystique. It showed a family at the heart of an institution, making decisions with both love and symbolism. As the evening drew to a close, Charlotte reportedly whispered something to Catherine, who smiled and nodded. No one knows what was said. But those who saw them believe it was a moment of reassurance, a mother letting her daughter know she was not alone. And so the banquet ended, but the ripples continue. What duties will Charlotte now take on? Will we see her at more state events, perhaps representing the crown abroad? How will the public respond to a young royal stepping into a defined role so early? Each question leads to another, ensuring the world's eyes remain fixed on her journey. This is how dynasties evolve, not always with coronations or abdications, but with a quiet announcement over dinner, a young girl rising to meet a legacy, and a grandfather redefining what his monarchy stands for. Remember the image. The banquet hall glitters. Crystal glasses. Murmured toasts. Everyone expects tradition. Suddenly, a royal announcement stops the room cold. A title no one predicted. Gasps ripple. And in that moment, the story of the next generation begins.